And that concludes the first quarter of play. The Pistons on top. They're up by 5. Live from Little Caesars Arena, you're watching 2K Sports.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal, I'm Ernie Johnson. Time for the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. It was a closely contested first quarter for Detroit. At the end of one, they were able to end up with a 5-point lead. Their play in the second quarter was inspired as they turned what had been a tight contest into a 10-point ball game by the time we reached halftime. Taking a look at the Pistons, Shaq, what did you think?
Well, they're out in front tonight because of their offensive rebounding. Those second-chance buckets came into play in a big way. Those are effort points, momentum builders, salvaging points off the scrap heap. You never heard me say scrap heap before, Ernie. I don't even know what it means. It just sounded good.
And Kenny, what are your thoughts on Phoenix?
Well, obviously, they didn't show up on the glass at all. They were getting outworked, out-hustled, and outplayed. And their competition showed just the opposite. They wanted it more. You can't give up a ton of extra possessions in a game like this and expect to win.
That'll do it for now. The second half of action coming right up.
A 7-point lead. A terrific tempo and a great pace. The fast break has been a central part of their offense. And we'll be right back after this. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. See you next time. On to an 8-point lead heading into the break. Their shooting has been the big key. Their percentage from the field so far has been terrific. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome, everybody. So far, a pretty one-sided first half. Ernie Johnson with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. It was all Russell Westbrook in the first quarter. He had 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Kenny, let's get your take on Oklahoma City.
Their perimeter shooting has made the difference, and so many of their points are coming from long range. They've come out, spread the floor, and executed their jump shooting game. It's been a barrage from the three-point line. Guys always finding the open shot. If they can stay hot from three-point land in the second half, this game is over.
Shaq, what'd you think about Orlando?
They were Brick City, and it was painful to watch. Weak shooting starts to get contagious, and they were struggling all over the place. They got to work on getting more high-quality chances, more layups, fewer prayers.
That's it for now as the second half's just about ready to go.
A terrific tempo and a great pace. The fast break has been a central part of their offense. And we'll be right back after this. That's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. You gotta love the John Wall we saw in the first. He ended up with 17 points and 1 assist. And taking a look at the Wizards, Shaq, what'd you think?
I don't think anyone expected to see such numbers from the bench, you know. I'm impressed. It was what they needed, the jolt they needed, Ernie. Wow, I never knew their bench was. Matter of fact, I don't even know any of their players coming off the bench. Man, keep going, bench guys.
And Kenny, your take on Philadelphia.
Well, they shot under 40% in the first half. There's your deficit. They missed some open looks, wide open. But overall, I thought the offense was stagnant. Look for their coach to draw up some specific plays to try to jumpstart them in the second half.
And that is just about going to wrap it up as the second half is moments away. Down to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the crew.
And they've done a phenomenal job down low, so many of their points coming right at the rim. We'll return shortly.
I need to settle these guys down. Should I let them play through it?
A chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, John Wall.
He's put on a shooting exhibition for us here tonight. He's missed a couple along the way, but it sure seems like everything's been falling for him. The only way to keep him from converting is to keep the ball out of his hands.
They had not been playing very good basketball coming into this game, and that's when a team folks, needs
that's
to do it for
play.
now. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. So long, everyone.
Inexcusable. All they had to do was box him out. You learn a lesson the hard way in that instance.
So at the end of one quarter of play, still a close game. Knicks lead by 1. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Some big-time action already in this one. I'm Ernie Johnson, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. For the Knicks, the first quarter was pretty even. They were on a nice little roll in that opening period as they got their lead up as high as 7 points. The second quarter was a tight battle, but they were the slightly better team. Not by very much, however. Taking a look at the Knicks, Kenny, what'd you think?
I love the motion on offense. Guys are moving, the ball is moving. It's a very nice approach to the game, and one the defense absolutely could not keep up with.
And over to Shaq. What'd you think about Miami?
Ernie, they're taking way too many threes. The offense has no rhythm. They need to go back to the drawing board. Maybe try to get a little bit more transition, more off the pick and roll. Anything other than shooting that three. It's not going.
And now, folks, just moments away from the start of the third quarter.
By 4. And we're coming right back after this break to get the fourth quarter underway. We get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Dion Waiters.
And the way he's made his mark with his work inside, he's just been a slasher tonight. Always moving, getting to the basket at will, and just seemingly taking advantage of a D that was reluctant to get in his way.
For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. And we'll see you next time.
Had it on the monitor, but replays here, and it's here to stay for situations just like that one.
And so it's Toronto enjoying a 12-point lead as they talk things over during the break. Their transition game has been in full effect, and we'll be back with you shortly.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the halftime show on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. It was a fast pace for Toronto at the outset, jumping on every opportunity to push the tempo. At one point, they had built a 14-point advantage. At the end of one, they were still firmly in control, up by 12. Momentum shifted quite a bit during the second quarter, as did their scoring, but they still hold a 4-point lead at the break. And taking a look at the Raptors, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, I see a team that's playing smart, moving the ball around to the open man, just taking what the defense gives them. There's a nice flow, a nice energy, a nice synergy to the game.
Shaq, let's get your insight on Charlotte.
I was surprised at some of the recklessness. They were scattered, sloppy ball handling, just too many turnovers. It gets back to fundamentals. Forget the highlight reel pass. Make the effective one. Simple bounce pass. John Wooden taught us that in the 40s, 30s, 50s, whenever he was coaching. Just play under control. Simple ball, dude.
And that will wrap up our halftime report, as it's just about time for the start of the second half.
Exciting fourth quarter. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The fourth quarter is coming up next. For Steve Smith, Craig Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you later. Indiana out in front, up by 7. We'll be back shortly, live from Houston, Texas.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. The story early on was Darren Collison, who was on fire. He had 8 points and 4 assists. And Shaq, what did you see out there from the Pacers?
I like their commitment to that inside game, boy. Get it inside to the post. Got to be scoring in the post, splashing to the basket. Just shoot the high percentage shot. No jumpers, no threes. They're being a more aggressive team, the more physical team. They're definitely going to win this game, Ernie.
How about you, Kenny? What did you think about Houston?
Well, they're trailing in this game because they're shooting under 35%. Now, I've got to give a lot of credit to the defense, forcing the shooters off their spots and making them feel uncomfortable. But if someone takes something away from you, you have to be able to adapt. So they need a whole new game plan because right now they're in trouble.
And that is just about going to wrap it up as the second half is moments away. Down to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the crew.
And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Pacers lead by 5. We'll be back shortly, live from Houston, Texas. Now we've got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, Miles Turner.
And in terms of his shooting, this has been one of the more accurate performances you'll ever see. I mean, he's been in constant motion, creating a lot of good looks for himself. But still, even when you're wide open, you expect to miss some of the time. And that has not been the case here tonight. This guy has made everything.
That'll do it for now. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. So long. Between his points and his rebounds, he was a star for him in that quarter. And we'll be back with you shortly.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, folks, welcome back. Ernie Johnson alongside the Jet. That's Kenny Smith. The Diesel, that's Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of big-time action so far in this one. What a start it was for Karl Anthony Towns. He had 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 blocks. And, Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
Well, there was a big spark from the bench in the first half. Sometimes you're hoping for your reserves to come in and just hold court, but they didn't do that. They actually got better.
Shaq, how do you think New Orleans played?
Well, as we know, it's always a good idea to pound the ball into the paint. So many defensive game plans are focused just on stopping the three. When you hurt a team down low, they got to react. That allows you to play inside out. Trust me, I have the blueprint. I own the blueprint. I created the blueprint. Inside, kick it back out, shoot the three. Rick Fox, B. Shaw, and big shot, Bob for three. The crowd go crazy. I know you remember that, Ernie.
And we're just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll see you.
Leading by just 2. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from New Orleans.
That's like asking 4 of my buddies to add a 5th guy to go out and they're all single. That means there's another guy I got to compete with. So maybe we don't have another set of eyes on the NBA game. Lots of physicality, lots of pushing and shoving. You may see more foul calling, which will slow down the tempo and the rhythm of the game. I'm not sure that's the best idea for the league.
So then adding the Secaucus and the extra eyes in New York to look at calls, I think that might take the place of adding the official.
I think the league has done a great job,
Berry,
Kevin.
Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. And we'll be right back after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Time to check out the first half of action. It's Brooklyn out in front at the half. They lead by 15. Kenny, what did you see from them?
Well, how about their ball movement? That was a true definition of team basketball. All 5 guys moving, all guys rotating, everyone touching the ball, a bunch of assists, tons of easy baskets. It gives everyone on the floor confidence when you're playing like that.
And Shaq, what did you see from Dallas?
Well, they got to do a better job on the glass. Ernie, they got outworked. They were weak physically. That's part of how they fell behind in this game. I think if they can control those things, they'll be okay, Ernie.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
Terrific in this game. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. For Doris Burke, David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Up the first quarter on a 12-4 run. After this break, we'll be back with the start of the second quarter on 2K Sports.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime report. A pretty close game for the Spurs throughout the first quarter. Their largest deficit of the period was just 4 points. They were right there within shouting distance the entire time. Checking out the Spurs. Kenny, what was your take on San Antonio?
Well, there was one pleasant surprise, and that was the bench. They gave them a big lift. Those guys came into the game, they did all the dirty work, and they scored baskets.
Shaq, your take on Memphis.
I love it. You know why I love it, Ernie? Because they're getting the ball inside and converting. Not just sitting back behind the line shooting threes. See, that's kept the defense scrambling a little bit, unable to lock in on anything. Get it in, we'll kick it back out, then you shoot it.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
We'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports. And our Jordan player of the game, Marc Gasol.
And he's put on a terrific show of skill in the paint. A combination of moves, footwork, and that soft touch down low. It's all added up to one dominant performance for the big fella.
Now for Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA here on 2K Sports. See you later. Period. They've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. We've got more in store for you right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime show on 2K Sports. The first half was all about Stephen Curry. He had 14 points, 4 assists, and 1 steal. Taking a look at the Warriors, Kenny, what'd you think?
Well, they were dishing out dimes left and right, and the guys were finishing strong. As a team, they seem to be always thinking, always looking for the best shot. If they keep sharing the ball this way, the second half could be more lopsided than the first.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on the Lakers?
They relied way too heavily on the three-point shot in the first half. Their long-range game was off. That's my off sound, Ernie. They were off. But they still settle for the outside shots. They got to put more pressure on the defense by pounding it inside and attacking the basket.
And that will wrap up our halftime report, as it's just about time for the start of the second half.
On top, leading by 17. Live from the Staples Center, you're watching 2K Sports.
It necessarily wouldn't change the arc of justice, but they felt that they had to do it. And so it's just some cool conversations with people and athletes that were much more than an athlete. And I've learned a lot, and it's been a cool podcast.
Do it for now. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Chris Webber, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.